Hi Sagittarius, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. So again, this is a reading for Sagittarius rising signs, or if you have significant Sagittarius placements in your chart, then this reading is for you. So Sagittarius, this reading has been, there's so much energy in your space today. It kind of feels like, so just as an overall context, you have here the Fairies of the future, which talks about like making plans to move forward with something. I feel like it's kind of like, though, for you Sagittarius, it almost feels like an overwhelming amount of options is what was coming through here. I tried to do your reading so many times today, and it just wasn't like the right message. Like I could feel what the energy was, but like the cards were not the decks that I have were like not giving me the right like energy is how it's coming through, which is interesting because I feel like that's sort of that's the first card in your spread today, Tam the Poet. It talks about like someone who's perhaps like spending too much time like focusing on like getting something like completely right, that it's almost like preventing something from like more important from happening, if that makes sense. It's like focusing on the wrong thing. No, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like trying to get something perfect, right? Like it has to be perfect is how it's coming through here, or like taking like time to like consider something really significant, like so it could be like what path you're taking or something like that, or it's like so many different options and perhaps being overwhelmed by them. So it could be something like that is what I'm seeing with this card. But it does talk about sort of like if there has been something that you've been wanting to put a lot of energy into, or like a project perhaps that takes a lot of time and energy, like now is the time to do it, is what was coming through here. So again, it's like maybe somebody's overthinking something, or this energy came through in the Sagittarius reading for Pisces, is what like the Pisces season videos that I did. So I'll link that above as well. But it's kind of, so anyways, and then you have your Temperance at the bottom of the deck, which is the Sagittarius card, right? I always forget that this is Sagittarius energy, but this is your card, Sagittarius. It's coming through with kind of like a difficult energy today. If you've watched the film, the movie, Les Miserables with Anne Hathaway, there's this energy here of like that song that she sings, the I Have a Dream. I dreamed a dream, I should say. So maybe there's something here that like there's something that you want to do, Sagittarius. Or like it's kind of like, especially with the Fairies of the future, right? Like building a dream or moving towards a dream or something like that. But it kind of feels like there's like either hesitation about it, or it's almost like perhaps procrastinating a little bit, or like focusing on the minor details rather than actually doing the thing, if that makes sense, or taking a step or making a plan, or something like that is kind of how it's coming through. Or perhaps you're waiting for the right opportunity. It could be that as well. It's with this Temperance card, because Temperance talks about patience, right? Maybe you're being like extra cautious, because the next card is the Hobjab. So this is a card that represents to me like anxieties. So there could be something about like someone's being really cautious. It could be a realistic cautiousness, right? It's not. That's just the energy that's coming through. It's like somebody's taking a lot of care, wanting to get something perfect, or like focused on the details, which I feel like is not a bad thing, but it's kind of like coming through as being sort of like is there a fear that you're avoiding, is how that's coming through. Is there something that you're avoiding, like something about like this, the first step or something like that, that's causing too much anxiety or like something like that? Because it's kind of the very first card here with the tarot is the Tower card. The Tower card. So a significant change. I feel like this is not necessarily a tower like a typical tower energy. I see this as being more so like kind of like a positive energy of like a breakthrough, or like it's actually coming through as like energy being released in some way. Like because whenever I see lightning in cards, to me that represents like an energy that breaks apart resources that are being held together, like that can't actually be used, right? So it's kind of like lightning is an energy that frees up resources so that it can be used. So it is a very nurturing, not nurturing, that's not the right word. Fertilizing. It's a fertilizing kind of energy. That's what's coming through. It's kind of like maybe there are resources that are being freed up, is kind of how it's feeling. And it's like that's sort of like your signal, Sagittarius, to move forward with some sort of thing or project that I feel like is going to take a lot of time and energy investment. But it's kind of like maybe that's what you were like. So it could be something, I think in the Pisces Sagittarius reading, like there was something about like a big investment of perhaps resources or time or energy. It's kind of like it feels like that if the time is now or coming soon here with the Tower, because the resources are now available, is how it's coming through. And so what I'm seeing here is this sort of energy, like the Two of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles, right? Like you have what you need now to get started on whatever this project or thing is, like moving forward with it. Because it's actually coming through as being sort of like this is the beginning of something. And it's starting to grow here, right? It's like getting fertilizer so that the plant can grow, whatever that is for you. It just feels like there's like a matter of perhaps working through some fear. Well, I don't know if it's, but that's the thing. It's like, it doesn't want to be called that. It doesn't want to be called fear. There's such a specificity with the words today about like, it's not fear, it's something else. I have no idea what that is. That's the thing. Like all the times that I tried to do the reading, it was like I was getting like little bits and pieces of the message each time I pulled cards, and I was trying to pull like different decks out and then different like trying to do different combinations of decks. And then of course the one that I ended up going with was my like comfort deck. So it could be something like leaving a comfort zone, right? Like it's like you have to pass through some sort of leaving a comfort zone. Like it's like you've never gone further than this energy is kind of how, whatever this is for you. It could be some sort of like I don't know what that is for you. It'll depend on each of you, but it's kind of like having to move past some sort of mental block, it feels like, or like going further than you've gone before in whatever area this is for you. It's like it's kind of like if you've ever done like a project or craft or something like that where you're doing something creative, and it's like maybe you start a project, but then you never get past a certain point. And so maybe you put it down, you leave it to whatever. And then maybe a couple weeks later, a couple months later, it's like you start again. You get more energy, but then you reach that same block is kind of how it's feeling. It feels like this is a familiar stopping point is kind of how it's coming through, but I feel like you are going to break through it now is how this is feeling. Because the next cards coming out here are the Three of Inspiration, which is talking about like finally moving past that point that perhaps you got stuck at before is kind of how it's coming through. Like the three of, like it's like, because what I always find interesting about this dominoes thing is that there's a gap in the middle, right? There's a gap here. So it's like there was like having to take a leap of faith in something, or like it's almost like having to make a leap over a place where there's a gap. Especially here with the Eight of Cups, like this to me feels kind of like, it doesn't feel like a blind spot actually, nor does it feel like a blockage. It's kind of just like you can never get past this point is actually how it's feeling. Like it's like as soon as you get close to this energy, whatever this is for you, it's almost like that's when progress stops is how it's feeling. So I feel like you've tried to move past this blockage before, or that's the thing, it's not a blockage. It's kind of feeling just like some sort of gap in like having to move over. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm spending too much time on that. That's the thing. I feel like it's like you're spending so much time trying to find the right word that you're actually losing the meaning of the message. Like that kind of energy. That's just an example. But what I'm seeing here next is the Lace the Moon's Daughter, which talks about she's actually coming in. Normally she comes in as sort of like a mischief, like causing mischief or that kind of thing. Today she's coming in as like a friend, or like somebody who's helping to bring more light to a situation where there perhaps was darkness, because you have here the Eight of Swords, right? Which talks about sort of like feeling like a mental block somewhere. I'm just going to call it like that. Perhaps a mental block. But it's like this one's bringing illumination through intuition, through dreams, through symbols, through signs, and that kind of thing. So it's a very intuitive sort of assistance, where it's kind of like you still need to puzzle out what the clues mean, because she does talk in sort of riddles. So it's kind of like having to like figure out because I feel like it's almost like you're in or you're close to whatever this black hole type of energy is. Like it's like it's not a point of no return, because I feel like you've actually been circling this energy for a while. You've been circling it but never got past it is kind of how it's coming through. And I feel like there's an energy here of like finally getting past it, whatever that is, with the Six of Swords. Like this is the gap, so to speak, like the area where you couldn't cross or you couldn't move past, or like the the thing that was preventing passage, whatever that is. It could be something like your own, perhaps like a mental block or something like that. Or perhaps some sort of like tie or something that was holding on to you even. But it's like, I feel like you're getting assistance in illuminating some sort of thing that was not clear, is kind of how it's coming through. So the next couple of cards you have out here are the Singer of Connection and Mick the Myomancer. So Mick the Myomancer talks about like paying attention to the details and being patient. I feel like there's, with the Singer of Connection, it may be that there is a significant connection that's helping you to do this. What was coming in here with the Singer of Connection? It's like, it's kind of coming through as being like, so first of all, there may be a significant connection that's helping you to do this with the Mick the Myomancer. This card talks about like seeing or understanding sort of like macro universal energies by examining the patterns and signs in the small things, right? Like in the movement of mice. It's a card about interpreting signs. Which is coming through today as being sort of like, what I'm seeing here with the five of materials, which is coming out next after the 8 of voices. It's kind of like in this, like I'm seeing you almost like in this void space. It's like a black hole that you can't escape in whatever way. And it's like this one's giving you, because with this one it's almost like showing you the way out, right? It's like sorry, I know the lighting is not good for the focusing of this camera, but anyways, it's kind of like showing you the way out of something that perhaps you've been in for a while or that you couldn't find your way out of. Anyways, it's like pulling me in, this energy. There's so much here. It could be something like a past energy. Like you were being almost like in like a time loop, like stuck in a time loop, or being called or held by something from your past, being held onto by something from your past, like the past won't let you go. And it's kind of like whatever's in your future is showing you how to get out of this energy, or it's like pulling you out or past this sort of like, perhaps it's an obstacle in some way. It's, or a challenge for you in terms of like getting over the obstacle, like getting out of the place that has been an obstacle. This card always talks about like, so moving on from something. I actually feel like for you, Sagittarius, there's an energy from the past that's been holding on to you. Okay, anyway, so what we have next though is it's so beautiful. Like the shift in energy is tangible. Like I can feel it. You have here that High Priestess, the Empress, and the Four of Swords, which is talking about like I actually feel like this might be the significant connection where it's kind of like, okay, so this Four of Swords is looking to me like, you know, when there's I don't know if they still do this, but like movie theaters or like theaters in general where they like have like the lights that shine, like that kind of thing. So maybe linked to yesterday's reading, which was talking about like a beacon, like that kind of thing. And I'm seeing this as like you, as like moving towards it. It could also be just sort of like, because all of these cards have light in it, right? And underneath that is the Page of Cups. All of these cards are shining. They have like a light that perhaps you're moving towards. It's kind of like you've been stuck in a place, Sagittarius, but it feels like you've been trying to move forward, is how this is looking to me. You've been making all the steps to move forward, or at least planning it or thinking about it, but it's like there was perhaps something that was like some sort of attachment from the past that's been sort of holding you back or pulling you back, or like you couldn't move past a certain point until whatever it was that was holding you back was like removed or ended finally, something like that. And it's kind of like your future, whatever is in your future here is like the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Like that's pulling you forward, that's showing you the way out of whatever this energy is. And it's kind of like here at the bottom you have the Ace of Cups, or sorry, the Ace of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, and the Nine of Pentacles, where it's kind of, so I've been getting so much energy here of like returning to the beginning of the cycle, which is the Ace, because you've reached the end of it. So it's kind of like you've completed the loop. You've completed the cycle. You're not restarting that cycle is how I'm seeing this. Where I feel like maybe you were in that place for a while is kind of how it's coming through. Like you were in a time loop or in some sort of cycle that kept repeating for whatever reason. And it's kind of like your future is now saying, okay, now it's time to move forward into this energy. This was coming through as sort of like your bread basket is full. That's what was going through here. Like it's like you've gathered all the things that you need from this place, whatever it is. It's time to move forward. It's like there was something here about like not being able to escape some sort of loop that you were in. Kind of like Groundhog Day. But it's like, I feel like it's like your future is calling you towards it. The future is pulling you out of the time loop because it's time to move forward. So many like astrological events happening for you, Sagittarius. It feels like incredibly significant. I was also getting just intuitively, like, I feel like there was some sort of, like, it was coming through as, like, a chain or, like, a rubber band being snipped. And that sort of, like, if there was a tense situation, it's kind of like that's over or ending or letting you go is how it's coming through. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope that was helpful. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It helps so much. If you're interested in a personal reading, you'll find a link to a form in the description box below. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great night. Bye.